Do you want insight into how I keep up with everything happening in the news? Stick around until the end of this video for an important offer from Ground News. Let this be a lesson to you out there who aspire to overturn elections, to aspire to end democracy in America, that when you try to do it, bad things will befall you. Rudy Giuliani is now being ordered to pay astronomical amounts with his assets for defaming and endangering the lives of two election workers in Georgia. It is good news. Here's the headline from the New York Times. Judge orders Giuliani to forfeit millions in assets to election workers he defamed. The one-time personal attorney to former President Donald Trump has 7 days to turn over his Manhattan apartment, a vintage Mercedes-Benz, and other possessions. For the party that has followed Donald Trump down the rabbit hole of destruction, following a man that says, we're going to open up our libel laws so you can sue people who report things on you and make a lot of money. This is a beautiful, ironic moment, I believe. For the party that whines and complains about, you're putting Donald Trump in danger. Oh, they're trying to assassinate him because you're calling him Hitler. They sure don't mind endangering the lives of private citizens, election workers, by sicking the unhinged MAGA mob upon them. All of these things, it's do as I say, not as I do. All of these rules are for thee, they are not for me. This is the reporting. A federal judge on Tuesday ordered Rudolph W. Giuliani to turn over most of his possessions and available cash to a receivership controlled by the two Georgia election workers he defamed, not alleged to have defamed. It was found by a jury. This is adjudicated. He defamed them. The election workers he defamed after the last presidential election. Mr. Giuliani, 80, has 7 days to make the transfer, which includes his New York apartment and his vintage Mercedes-Benz, once owned by the actress Lauren Bacall. Jesus Christ. Come on, man. The judge also ordered him to turn over certain pieces of furniture, his television, sports memorabilia, jewelry, and 26 watches. Dude, come on, 26 watches. How about all the pinky and thumb rings he wears like he's some kind of a mafioso? Including one, the 26 watches, including one that Mr. Giuliani said his grandfather gave him. Quote, the watch may be distinctive to defendant as an item of sentimental value, but it is not distinctive to the law, unquote. Judge Louis J. Lyman of the Federal District Court in Manhattan wrote in the order issued on Tuesday. For now, Mr. Giuliani's son, Andrew, can hold on to his father's Yankee World Series rings while lawyers look into whether they were indeed a gift from father to son, as Andrew Giuliani has told the court. You see, Rudy Giuliani, it appears that it's possible that, we want to cover ourselves legally here. It's alleged by many. How about that? Many people are saying that Rudy Giuliani gifted these to his goofy son as a way to not have to turn them over. They're so sentimental to him, these Yankees World Series rings that he had no part of earning and winning. He's trying to shield them from this lawsuit in payment. Once the transfers are made, the two election workers, Ruby Freeman and her daughter, Shay Moss, can begin selling the assets and putting the proceeds toward the more than $148 million a federal jury determined he owes them. Judge Lyman also said Ms. Freeman and Ms. Moss could sue former President Donald J. Trump for the $2 million he owes Mr. Giuliani in unpaid legal bills. You see, this was another element to this that I found very funny. And it was that Rudy Giuliani was begging the court, please, no, don't put those, don't go to the Trump campaign, don't go to Donald Trump and force him to pay the money he owes me, because he knew it would go to these two ladies that he defamed and endangered. Miss Freeman and Miss Moss have been waiting nearly a year to be paid for the damage to their reputations caused by Mr. Giuliani, a one-time personal lawyer to Mr. Trump and mayor of New York City. Mr. Giuliani has reported about $10 million in assets. After the 2020 election, you'll remember, Mr. Giuliani spread false statements that the women tried to steal the election from Mr. Trump. The accusations circulated swiftly across social media and led to violent threats against the women and their families. You see, the Republican Party and the people who lead the Republican Party are nothing but vile hypocrites. The same thing that happened to Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss is what they claim is happening to Donald Trump. And they cry their crocodile tears about the danger that Donald Trump currently faces from the threat of Republicans who are attempting to kill him, registered Republicans and unhinged maniacs. But they did the same thing to all of these people. I receive death threats. My wife receives death and rape threats from Trump supporters. This is the political environment they have created, they have fostered, they have encouraged. And then they cry and whine when it happens to them. Hypocrites. I mean, this channel largely just covers hypocrisy of the Republican Party because it is so rampant. It is so paramount to who and what they are as human beings. Just vile hypocrites that any means justifies the end that they want for America. To structurally, fundamentally alter our culture, to alter our government. And they're starting to get consequences. This is a good day. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think. You can comment below. You can also leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. And of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Follow me on the social media. I'd love to see you there. And stick around for a very brief word from today's sponsor, Ground News. If Trump is reelected, he has made it clear in this Truth Social post that he is intent upon revenge against anyone who questions him. It's one of the many recent examples of his dangerous authoritarian mindset and his plans for a future where public dissent is not met with debate, but with prison time. As you might guess, few, if any, right-wing outlets are covering news items like this. And if they are, it's someone like belligerent Ben Shapiro boosting for dropout Doug Burgum in North Dakota. Meanwhile, an independent outlet like Mother Jones is calling it what it is: voter suppression as designed by Project 2025. To say nothing of the spectrum of takes on social media platforms like Trump's, they all serve someone's agenda. Where is the best place to get a clear view of the various angles on a story and cut through the noise of social media? Ground News. It's an app and website that gathers the world's news in one place and exposes the bias of every outlet. With Ground News, you can easily compare coverage across the political spectrum to achieve a more coherent understanding of a particular issue. Democracy cannot survive on blind loyalty and echo chambers. It requires independent thought and civil discourse. That is why Ground News is here and what it's all about. Use Ground News to keep informed about the Middle East or to find out more about labor strikes in your area. All kinds of things are covered. Expand your information base. Head to ground.news/Dollemore or just scan my QR code below to score 40% off the very same unlimited access Vantage plan that I use for this show. By signing up, you'll be supporting not one, but two independent platforms working to make media more transparent. Ground News and Dollemore, unlimit your knowledge with Ground News.